What's up guys, it's Magic Mike here, and I'm finally doing the Q&A that I promised a long time ago. So I think I first brought it up in the comments at about 20k subscribers, then brought it up again at 75. Now I finally hit 100k. I figured I'm gonna stop putting this off and I'm finally gonna release this for you guys. So I'm just gonna pull them up quickly and we'll get to answering them. Okay, first question, what are your interests beside music? Well, for me, music in general has just always been a big part of my life. Aside from music, I do have an interest in sports as well. Favorite sports probably being hockey, followed by football. I'm not a great athlete myself, but I do enjoy watching them. But yeah, when it comes to what I do when I'm not making videos, pretty much just anything that gives me an excuse to hang out with friends or family, whether it's watching a movie, playing sports, or gaming. What do you consider your best/worst shit show ever made? I would say my personal favorite, and this was before the shit show era, I guess, naming wise, would have been the Charlie Puth Wiz Khalifa one, simply because you could kind of consider that the first one I did, depending on how loose your definition of shit show is. And to this day, I still think that one's one of the funniest. How do you get the idea to do these kinds of videos? Well, in terms of like doing these types of videos in general, I think Shreds videos, as they used to call it, dated back to like 2007 or 2008. But I think for me, the majority of those videos were just overdubs and didn't actually use the multi-track files from the song, which is something that I found to be a lot more interesting and funnier. The only other YouTuber I've ever seen who actually uses the multi-track files to screw up the performance is this guy named Allegro Noise, I think, who made 3 or 4 videos a while back, but unfortunately doesn't make them anymore. So those are the ones that kind of started things off for me. In terms of how I get ideas for videos on an everyday basis, quite simply I try to find songs that I like and songs that the viewers will most likely enjoy as well. What are some of your favorite or least favorite bands? My favorite band of all time would probably have to be Queen, and my least favorite band of all time is definitely Imagine Dragons. Metallica or Megadeth? Personally, I gotta go Metallica just because I could never get into Megadeth. I couldn't get past Dave Mustaine's voice. US rock bands or UK rock bands? It's weird because I actually grew up mostly with more of the US American side. I'm from Canada, so I kind of don't really have any bias either way. But I grew up with a lot of the American stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of, I guess, grown to appreciate the UK stuff more. And I think if I had to answer now, I'm gonna go UK rock bands. What is your background in music? So I actually don't have a formal background in music. I used to actually teach guitar lessons. Only did that for about a year until I realized I hated it. That's as close to any formal qualification I have for musical ability. Are you one person behind this channel or do you work in a team? Just me. Are you human? I think so. Do you like most of the songs that you create shit show videos of? Yeah, that's the thing a lot of people don't get. I see these comments where people are trying to say I'm trying to put down the artist or like shit on them, but if I'm gonna spend like 8 hours editing a video, which is generally what it takes, I'm most likely gonna choose an artist I actually like because I'm gonna have to hear it over and over and over. So yeah, most of the videos or most of the songs I do are songs that I actually like. How do you stumble upon doing the type of videos you do? Have you always had a knack for making good songs sound like an inverted asshole fart, or was it like pulling straws? Are you going to expand your material at all beyond these edits? Well, I actually started off on YouTube doing mashups, song mashups that were actually supposed to sound good. Oddly enough, that was actually pretty good practice for what I do now, even though the goal is the polar opposite. I guess eventually at some point I just got bored of that. I think I've always had more of an interest in comedic type things than more serious type things. In terms of expanding the material, I have for the last couple months kind of wanted to add a little bit more variety to the channel. The first way I'm doing this, as you've seen the last couple videos, is kind of doing a 50-50 between the songs and then doing interviews every other vid. One cool idea for the future I think would be a documentary style edit where I took interviews as well as the musical parts in the same vid and turned it into a more comprehensive edit. I think that could be pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. Have you received any feedback from any real band members you made fun of? Or do you know if they've seen your videos? As far as I know, in terms of the recent videos, to my knowledge, none of them have been seen by any of the band members. The only situation I've had 2 situations actually back when I did song mashups. The first one being when I took this one off the channel a while back, but I had one a couple years back where it was a Bruno Mars and Avenged Sevenfold mashup, and someone sent it to Sinister Gate's dad, who is he's the guitarist of the group, and he actually made a comment about it on Facebook. So that's one of the times. The other time would be the Donkey Kong and Evanescence mashup that is still on the channel. That one someone sent on Twitter to Grant Kirkhope, who is the guy who actually voiced Donkey Kong in some of the older games. In terms of people seeing my work, those are the only two that have happened so far, but those are pretty cool. Could you put on some cool and zany shades? Unfortunately, I don't have any shades to put on at the moment. Yeah! Who's your favorite character in The Office? For me, that's an easy one. You just gotta go Michael Scott. It's a basic choice, but when you look at how downhill the show went when he left, I think that speaks volumes about how good a job he did in his role. What's your MBTI type? So this is actually an interesting question, and I haven't done the Myers-Briggs recently, and when I have done it, I've actually got a couple different types. For me, I get a strong, consistent E, I get a strong, consistent P. The middle two variables kind of depend on which test I take. If I had to guess, all things considered, I'd probably be like an ENTP or an ENFP. How do you edit these without laughing so hard? Honestly, it's pretty rare that I actually laugh out loud while editing one of these videos. I definitely still find it amusing, but I think when you spend so much time editing this, you almost become desensitized to the content, right? There are a few select jokes here and there that actually have me laughing out loud, but for the most part, you kind of get used to it. What is your favorite song? Well, it's definitely very difficult to choose one song, but I'm just gonna go with a maybe unexpected choice and say Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. What do you think the artists that you parody would think of the videos you make? Like, I can't say I've met any of these guys, but from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, I find celebrities to be kind of 50-50. Some of them are actually really down to earth and cool and modest about things. Some of them are a bit more stuck up. I'd assume someone like Corey Taylor would be more cool with it than someone like Ariana Grande, but you never know. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for getting us up to 100K subs. Dave Grohl interview coming up soon. Should be uploaded by Saturday, I think. So stay tuned for that. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.